Welcome to Caca School. I am Miss Caca coming to you with your first lesson. And we're actually going to start off with these warm-up questions I have for you. And I would like you, if you have, to get a pencil and paper, or you can just type it down, just however easiest, but I just to get it on paper or for you to remember. So we're going to start off with these two warm-up questions. And they're actually what is inside the butt, and how many Caca days are there in a year, and how many do we have left this year. But you don't need, for the second question, just forget about how many we have left because it depends on what time of year you're watching the video and other things like that. Just write down what is inside the butt for question 1. And for question 2, write down how many Caca days are there in a year. And please write in complete sentences. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to write those down. Alright, so if I reached in up my butt, what do you think you would find? So what, in other words, what is inside the butt? What do you think you would see if you reach in up someone's butt or your butt? What do you think you'd find? Well, first of all, think of it like this. What comes out of your butt? What can come out of your butt? Farts can come out of your butt, so what do you think? So obviously they would have to be inside your butt for them to come out. So farts would be in your butt. What else? Smells, because when you fart, smells come out of your butt, and they would have to get in there somehow, and we're going to review the whole process. That's why these two warm-up questions, especially the first one, is really, really important. Anyway, so what else? So we have farts, we have caca, germs, skin, but can the skin really come out? I mean, there is skin in there, but can it come out? Now, farts are important because those are part of caca. So just think about the question for a little bit, and I'm going to erase it so then you guys can see the answer. So copy down what you see on the screen. The butt has many things inside of it. And to name a few, we're going to talk about the shredders, the caca, the germs, and the smells, and the farts. Because those are the main 5 things that are important. That's what you'll see in just about every living thing's butt if they have one. Like if you reach into a cat's butt, what do you think you'll see? You'll obviously see caca, germs, smells, farts, and shredders because they have the same process as we do as human beings. So just write that down, and I'm going to give you a few seconds to do so. And the last question that we're going to do today is how many caca days are there in a year? So actually, this is just a little question that will tell you something, because we're not really going to go up on the idea as much. I mean, we will, but not as much, just like we will with the caca and what's inside the butt. So think about it this way. There's 2 caca days each month. There's one on the 2nd and one on the 22nd. Okay? And it doesn't matter how many days there are in each month, because either way, you'll still have 2 caca days. Like, there's only 28 days in February, sometimes there's 29, but that's not it, because you have it on the 2nd and the 22nd. 2 times each month for 12 months. So if you do 12 times 2, you get 24. So there are 24 caca days in a year, and there's only 7, well actually, but when I made this there was 7 days left, but You can figure that out when I made this if you'd want to, because it's a good little math question, I guess. So just copy down what you see, except for the last part. I'm just going to highlight this so then you know. Alright, so I'm going to scroll down. And we're going to take notes on this. Germs, caca, shredders, farts, and smells. That is what's inside the butt. And not only that's inside the butt, but that is also making smell. So I'm going to, because this goes in order from from the little parts to the big parts. So obviously it ends with smells, it starts with germs. So first you have the germs. Then the germs create the caca. Now the germs aren't bad, they're good germs, but sometimes there's a mix of bad germs like pee or from the pee, from when it's dead. But either way, it makes the caca. But then the caca goes down into shredders, which creates its fellow shape. Then come out the farts, because the caca's getting close to the end of the butt, so you're gonna keep farting. Now, even if you don't have the caca, you're still gonna fart so you can create that smell and know that your caca is working properly. Now, sometimes shredders are farther away from the end of the butt than others. That's why sometimes caca comes down a different way, but that is another. We might talk about that later today, but not right now. This is basically the process on how to make the smell. So all I want you to do is to write down the germs and just that little chart right here. And write down that's the process so you can remember. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to do so. And some of these little questions at the bottom, like do animals fart? Yes, all animals. Caca is endangered. Caca was losing wars in the past. Some of these things are true, some of them aren't. That do animals fart thing, that's not 100% true, but I don't really want you to copy that down anyway. But what I would like you to copy down is the caca is endangered. Caca was losing wars in the past, and there are 4 types of cacas. Just all of this. Okay, so as you're copying down, I'm going to explain. Caca is endangered. Now, caca is actually bringing back up its population rate, but as we speak, some of it's dying, some of it's actually killing the pea. Because now we had a big turnaround after we realized cow caca had powers. Now, first of all, cow caca is really, really old. He is immortal. So he ages a lot slower, but he dies never. So caca is still pretty endangered, but it's not real. It'll take a while for it to go back to extinction. So I would say, it's just becoming endangered if it's like an animal, but now probably in about 2022 we'll be back up with our regular population rate. And the reason why it is endangered is because caca was losing wars in the past. Now that is saying a lot because caca is the best now because, instead of losing the wars, it now wins because of the pea. Because now they realize cow caca, they realize his powers. And not only that, because some cacas don't have powers, cow caca is teaching them other ways to fight, as if they have a power, but they don't. So there are 4 types of cacas: cacums, cuppies, people, and picas. Cacums, they are in the caca family, so they're nice. Cuppies, they're in the caca family, but they also, they kind of like more pea stuff. They like yellow. So, yeah, they more likely, they like yellow. They like what P likes. But their personality, you can tell they're a Caca. People, well, I wouldn't say they're a type of Caca, but they're in the Cacas. You know what I mean? Like, if you have... Okay, you know, I'm not going to explain. It's a hard explanation. It's going to be really, really confusing, but I'm just going to tell you. People, they're mean. They're the P. They're evil. They're rude. They hate Caca, and Caca hates it. Picas. Now, they like brown Caca stuff. They might even celebrate a Caca day. Maybe. Who knows? They actually celebrate all types of different days. But they are more P. They're mean. They hate Caca. They're just mean. And Caca does have 2 special days in each month. What are those 2 special days? The first one is Caca Day, and the second one is National Caca Day. Now, only certain countries celebrate the second one because of dictators, kings, queens, or maybe it's just because, you know, they're more of a P country. So that's basically what you should have copied down. And the Caca actually does have 2 days in each month because the Caca Fairy used to do a very special part in killing the P. Now, the Caca Fairy did have magical powers. It could fly, it could confuse the P, but not the powers like Cow Caca has. The Caca Fairy just wants to celebrate the 2 days in every month because 2 is a Caca number. And basically, the Caca Fairy helps out Cow Caca maybe on certain times. And on the even number days, like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, it's Caca goodness. On odd number days, like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, there's stupid P junk. So I'd like you to copy those down. That you've copied that down, basically that paragraph in the even numbered and odd numbered days, but you can also copy down goal to kill all the P, and Caca always has a backup plan. This is basically telling you that if you are in public and bad things are happening, Caca has a backup plan. The goal, kill all the P. I mean, that's basically it. I mean, they're enemies for life. So once you're born a Caca, you hate the P. It's just an instinct now. It's gotten to that point because the P did something really bad to the Caca, and now the Caca's fighting back, and it's getting over personal. And number 2 is Caca. So these are like what it means. So if you want to know what number 2 means, that means Caca. That's why it's a Caca number. That's why 2. 2 equals Caca number. 22 means Caca doubled. So if you say, oh yeah, I want Caca doubled toilets or toilet paper, that means you want 22 22 rolls or something. Number 22 is Caca doubled. So if you're like, yeah, I'm going to go number 22, you know, that means you had over the amount of Caca, but basically doubled. And emergencies, now this is also if you're in public, are important. Sorry if I'm going really fast, if I'm going too slow, but remember you can always rewind the video or comment below if you have any questions. Wait, I'm going to let you copy that down actually. This is really also important. You know what? No, we're going to get into this at a second lesson. And especially because we are talking about farts and shredders, I'm going to talk about the first paragraph in this, the first little bullet point, because this is the most important for today. Try finding the brown. Farts are when Caca is forming. If a fart is wet, that means caca will come out smooth or like diarrhea. So it's like basically mud in a way. Good type. So there's a 75% chance that a caca will come out smooth within a wet fart. But a 25% that it will come out as diarrhea within a wet fart, because not all wet farts mean that you have diarrhea. Now sometimes that means your caca is sick, or something happened to you and your body is creating a new caca, because either it's dead, it's figuring out a way to kill the pee, or it's sick, or maybe even the human is sick because of the pee. And the fart is basically a little bit or many pieces of food coming together to form a caca. So that's basically what a fart comes out, it creates the smell, it tells you caca is coming, but what does it look like? Well, it's a tiny little bit of food coming together to form caca. So if you see those little circles in your caca, or sometimes they don't even connect, those are your farts coming out, not just the smell of the fart. And it also goes through the shredder one time as regular food, and the same shredder or compactor, because it can also compact it to bring caca together into a shape and yet bound texture. Okay, so it goes through it twice all together. So if you could copy down all this, copy down the most important things, because this is a lot. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to do so. All right. And we're going to actually go into the reading later. Now we're going to go back. Now we're going to go into science. How does it relate? Now, forces are used all the time. Now, I got this from a video. You guys can look at the video. Just search forces in motion, unique learning. Forces are used all the time. Pushing, pulling, and when you push, your caca comes out. But gravity pulls it down. So that's how your caca plops into the toilet. So what you're doing, you're pushing it out. Okay, that's natural. But how is it really coming out? Gravity pulls it down out of your butt to go into the toilet. So I would like you to copy that down. Forces are used all the time, pushing and pulling. So even when something isn't moving, there are still forces doing that. You can copy that down if you want. If you don't remember, that's okay. Now, some of this doesn't have caca in it, but it relates. Like when you throw a ball in the air, it comes back down. Earth's gravity force pulls it back down. Okay, so it's like saying, it's basically like the example I said before about caca coming out of your butt into the toilet. It pulls it back down. They're used in everyday life. You can copy that down if you want to. You don't have to, but the main one is this one on the top. So everything made of matter has inertia. In other words, everything has matter and inertia. Since everything has matter, everything has inertia. So everything is made of matter. So that means caca has inertia. I would copy that down. That's really, really important as well. Sorry. And I want to talk about a few of these definitions that I need you to copy down. These are really, really important. Copy down everything you see on the screen as I explain it to you. So caca means baby talk. Now, if you look it up on dictionary.com, it says baby talk. Now, sometimes when you look at babies on cartoons or something, they go like this. Cuckoo, gaga. Now, sometimes they do this. Cuckoo, caca. Now, Caca could be a way of saying baby talk, but it also means your butt's talking in a way. Because when your butt's talking, that means your caca plops into the toilet or farts. But this is really getting in depth because these definitions are really high science. So fart, a flatus expelled through the anus. So it's a smell. It comes out of the butt. So anus means butt. A shredder is a person or thing that shreds. So just like the shredders in your butt. A smell is to perceive the odor or scent of through the nose. So a smell is basically an odor. And a flatus is a gas. So copy down all these definitions. These are really important. I'm going to give you a few seconds to do so. Now I'm going to talk about language. So, yeah, I will copy down the rest of this if you haven't gotten it down. Anus means butt. You don't have to copy that down if you already know it. You need language. Now, when you can only speak and understand one language throughout your entire life. Okay. Synonym means a uni speaker. Because uni means you can only like one, okay? So that basically means that Caca is not a uni language because obviously once you see that word one, wipe out, it's not Caca, it's P. But so that means even though it's not dealing with Caca, it tells you that we don't speak uni language, we're bi speakers. That's basically P because they can only understand English. English is the only language. So I'm going to scroll down to more definitions and I only want you to copy down bilanguage. Bilanguage is the only one. So bilanguage is when you can only speak 2 languages throughout your entire life. Only 2, no more and no less. You're born that way. So bi speaker is also a synonym. But we also like to say you're a bi speaker because that's basically our main word. But bilanguage is different. I mean, it means the same thing, but I'm just saying in a sentence. Sorry, that's confusing. Just remember bi speaker, bilanguage, same thing. So you can speak 2 languages. So that means Caca can speak Kubarkara, Kubarnasho, and English. Born that way, and that's great because P can understand Kubarkara, Kubarnasho. And that's basically all I need you to copy down. And if this helped you, you can, review this, look it over. And sorry if anything's confusing, comment below if something is confusing and I can help you out with that. Also, be sure that since this is the first lesson, I would go to the second lesson afterward if you're on the channel and you see, like 2, like lesson 2, I wouldn't go to lesson 2, I'd go to lesson 1 because it has some of the things that you will need to know for lesson 2, especially for the warm-up questions. So I hope this helped you. That was Miss Caca coming to you, and I hope you got what you needed. So bye. Happy Caca.